at times when you see an escalation in political violence, whether we're talking about Paul Pelosi, the attempted murder on Paul Pelosi, because I don't know what else you would call somebody taking a hammer to somebody else's head. When we're looking at, the most recent mass shooting in Colorado Springs at an LGBTQ nightclub, when, we're talking about abortion being overturned after 50 years, I don't know how to not embody a sense of rage. I don't know how to say that there is common ground when you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert that are stoking political violence, that are saying things like Democrats want you dead. I don't know what the right response should be, because I don't think that us as Democrats continuing to try and reach across the aisle to people that are holding assault rifles on the other side makes sense. So I'm just curious, if you don't think that rage is something that is sustainable, but if we don't articulate how dangerous the times are and how consequential each election has become, because with an authoritarian regime, we're not going to get multiple bites at this apple. How do you think that we should convey the seriousness of the political moment that we're in?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And obviously, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of messages, but I don't think that people's anger is unjustified or anything like that. I don't think it's crazy to feel angry about these things, which I do. I'm very, as things go, I'm a progressive Democrat, cat's out of the bag. That's where I'm at politically. But it is for me a matter of approach. I think, God, what was I going to say? It was about, you mentioned Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and those people. I mean, another thing that happened, we saw in the midterms, was that a lot of the races for Secretary of State and a lot of the just election deniers in general in those battleground states were all lost. I mean, they lost handily in most cases. It's just not a very popular opinion. I think there's also something that's going on. And again, I just feel a frisson of people getting real tired with election denialism. And I feel just a little a pinch and just a little something in the air of people feeling like this level of constant agitation that Republicans are at is really annoying and it's boring. Bring something else to the table, because I'm not voting for this. And we saw that time and time again with a lot of these elections, especially the secretary. I talked a lot on Fake the Nation about the Secretary of State elections. I was very concerned about those and was very happy to see the results, right? We have a lot of people who just at a minimum believe in maintaining democratic institutions, running state elections, so that's fantastic. Yes. So what?
I think this is a fascinating conversation because my disposition leans just internally like you, Negin, just my personality, right? Mm-hmm. Because for me, I know that if I operate from that spiritually, it's unhealthy for me. At the same time, though, I also know, and this has been an interesting, we all learn, right? So talking to folks, I can't also blame them for their anger and their rage based on what they're, especially Black women, right? Because Black women in particular have told me we've been taught our whole life to police our rage. Mm-hmm. And then also brown men and Black men. There's a reason why Obama never lost his temper, even though they asked this man to friggin' show his birth certificate. The second I showed, it wasn't even anger. I remember I wrote this article for Daily Beast, and we've talked about this on this podcast before, where my Daily Beast editor came up with this catchy title. It wasn't even my title. You Karens are killing us after the Youngkin victory, where it was such a manufactured BS, racist, homophobic trope, the Southern strategy that just roped enough white women and suburban women. And lo and behold, fast forward 2 years, we're seeing stochastic terrorism, where the targets of right-wing media are being killed. Paul Pelosi almost died. Election workers are being intimidated. Educators. The gay club in Colorado where 5 people were killed, right? And so for me, there is this tension that I have where my disposition, I think all three of us, we're like, we don't want to replace any of you. Either A, invite us to your party, or let it just have our own potluck. Don't kill us. And if you are trying to kill us, then don't be surprised if we don't invite you to our party. We're trying to build a multicultural coalition of the willing. And a part of me says, okay, where do I draw the line? In the sense that my hand has always been reaching out to you. Like always, my whole life. Because when you grow up as the outsider, we can't afford to like not engage. We just can't, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then we just don't have the power. And then the part of me then comes now, we're like, all right, the caravan has to move forward. Who's going to be on that caravan? Like, how much work will I do to convince Karen?
What's the alternative? I don't understand. I guess like just like nuts and bolts. What does that mean?
It's like Toni Morrison, right? I'll finish. It's like when Toni Morrison, and I'm going to paraphrase her, say, like the function of racism ultimately is to exhaust you because you have to spend your whole life and distraction. You have to spend your whole life proving yourself to kind of like a nameless judge, jury, and executioner. What even with these Rust Belt stuff, right? Negin, they'll say this sometimes. Negin, you're the good one. Danielle, you're the one. You're the good black. Right. Why can't they all be like Obama? And so I mean, I don't have an answer to this. It's about strategies, right? Everyone has a different strategy. And my take here is, well, when do we decide to say enough's enough? I'm going to move beyond the Karen and get enough Karens that I can. Because I did even a tweet like a couple of weeks ago where I asked white women, and a lot of the white women who voted in the midterms for Democrats, what they told me on my Twitter went like quite kind of viral. They said, we've tried, we cannot win them over. We cannot win over our fellow white women. So then I asked myself, okay, so then what is our job, Negin, to always have our hand out? Maybe that's the spiritual response, to always have our hand out. Or do we just say peace, good luck, enjoy meatloaf and potato salad with raisins, and we're going to move on?
Okay, so you're saying is the idea just to like build the coalition and not think about white people at all?
No, not at all. Because we need enough whites. We need enough white people. Just statistically, you need to always increase the pie.
Yeah.
But statistically, it seems that we need about 45 to 47%. And right now, it seems that if we get that, it's enough. It seems that we ain't going to get 60 to 65.
Okay. Yeah. So, and can we win with 45 to 47?
If a majority of black folks, 85 to 90% of black folks, 70+% of Jews, 65-70% of Muslims, 65-70% of Asians, and about 60-65% of Latinos, yes.
Right. So I guess then the other question is how, another story, and again, I haven't looked at the numbers to see how real this is or if it was just like media talking points, like the loss of Black and Latino voters. Like, is there something there that we're like, we're not being like a fun enough party to keep those people at the party in all senses. No. You know what I mean? Like that, if we're like, okay, we're not going to try and convert any more, white women, but like we can't afford any more losses on like Black and Latino voters. This is the other funny thing, I think, and I don't know if you feel this way, Watch, but like I've always been like, I'm nothing if not in a coalition because there's like 5 Iranians in America. You know what I mean? Like there's
I think it's you, Maz Jobrani.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't even think of the third one. Christiana Amanpour. But like it's literally there's so few. We're exactly nothing. I mean, that's why I have a master's degree in African American studies, because I was like, I need to glom onto the nearest minority group so that I have like the thing I can learn about minorityness, you know what I mean? And that's my feeling is, as an Iranian, I always think in building these groups because there's never been, there's no political leverage. Nobody cares about losing the Iranian vote, right? So,
well, they better in LA, especially in LA, they better.
Yeah. Well, there's some regions, right? There's a couple of Great Neck, Long Island, what up? But I think like if you're in a really underrepresented ethnic minority, then you have to think about these like larger numbers. And if you're Black and Latino, you actually have some more political power. but if I lump myself into Middle Easterners, if I lump myself into the larger Asian umbrella, the larger Muslim umbrella, then there's a little bit more heft there. But can we? Are you guys at all concerned about losing people that we've historically come to trust as Democrats?